my beautiful soul family. Welcome to my channel, The Mystical Hummingbird. I'm happy that you guys could be here with me today. It's kind of loud out there. We live close to, I'm not gonna say, but there's airplanes all the time here. I'm so happy for my beautiful flowers. My beautiful niece dropped them off the other day for me, and she just made my day. I absolutely adore these. Sunflowers are roses, sunflowers, every flower are my favorite flowers. So I have a kind of an interesting moment to share with you. Since we are approaching now another year that's closing, we're nearly at the end of this month, November of 2025, and soon we'll begin a new cycle. In numerology, the year 2025 added, it comes to number 9, and this representing the end of a 9-year cycle in a time of completion, transformation, and sort of a closure and a release. Now, because I study the sciences and numerology being one of them, plus I myself am a number 9, and this has encouraged me to seek more information on this subject in different ways. I'm very aware and awakened to my life's journey and what I'm here for. This year has been, for me, a very insightful year, filled with spiritual experiences and dreams, visions, which have been rewarding for my soul's purpose. I have been reflecting on these past months and how I have grown, gaining a more broader understanding of my role as a spirit human upon this earth. This period of personal growth has elevated my mind to a deeper understanding of the self, myself. And since this channel, you know that I opened this channel to share with you my experiences with spirit. And this was done because Spirit asked me over a year ago. And by becoming an observer of life itself, and since I am the type that looks at I want to say the most minuscule and maybe unimportant and insignificant things that most people they pass by, life has opened herself beyond the obvious for me, and I find that enchanting. I will share with you, I've taken notes because sometimes my head gets all muddled with so many things. I've got so many thoughts and I have so many different projects that sometimes it's a little bit, I won't say difficult, but to maintain my focus in one thing is better for me to take notes, and I've been doing that, and it helps me quite a bit. So something I detected within myself this year, I have found that I truly enjoy my alone time. Some have asked me if I am lonely or if I miss social gatherings or company. I'm not completely alone, mind you, but I spend a lot of time alone because also my job that I have. Right now, I am a full-time caretaker / nurse, although I am not an RN, but I have experience with the medical field since I used to work at the health department, and I acquired many different experiences. I learned hands-on to be a medical assistant, and I did many things. And I also have training. I took courses and I became a doula, which I helped the patients that wanted to have natural births, and I assisted the OBGYNs and also the midwives. So I mostly work with the midwives. So, and this, and the medical field, because of my work, I was able to become acquainted with wound care, drawing blood, helping with deliveries, and caring for people, and different experiences and different avenues. People, one of my friends that was my boss, she had broken her foot and she could not do certain things. So for a whole month, I helped her when she needed to visit the patients at their homes. And so she taught me the treatment of wounds that were really, they look like to me, like in a war zone, the open wounds. Some people had to have, a woman had I remember, had a C-section and became infected, but then they could not seal it. They had to clean it because of all the pus, and she had it infected. So she was taking medication that they not close it, but you had to every day change the bandages, and I remember it was from wet to dry, and I was taught to do that, and I was able to see that I have been in the operating room when women have had C-sections, and so I'm not unfamiliar with this, and it's a natural thing for me. I'm not scared of blood or things like that, so I think that I was able to handle it very well. So what I'm going to get to is that right now, the person that I'm taking care of is this young, beautiful woman that's 27 years of age. She's blind, deaf, and mute. And so she has no communication skills because she cannot convey her thoughts or feelings. I've been with her for 4 years, and I have learned her language. And because I work with energy, and because I'm a very spiritual person, I've gotten close to her, and she feels to me like a member of my own family. I don't consider this to be a job where I'm at, and I don't want to discuss the diagnostics that they gave her. I don't want to do that, but I'm just mentioning this situation because I want to explain some things to you. She's been having a challenge the last little while after she had a major setback. She had a seizure, a mole seizure that was very, very hard on her body, and she was taken to the hospital, and we almost lost her because many of her, how can I explain this? She if I am allowed to tell about this, the thing is, they wanted to intubate her, and of course it didn't happen. The father didn't want it, and the family did not want it, and I also agreed with them because if she needed to go, she was going to leave on her own accord. And so, but she's very resilient. She overcame this, but right now she's having a challenge walking. She can't stand really upright, and it's hard for her to take steps, and we all think that she might be having something with the sciatic nerve or something. But anyway, we are taking her to the doctor in a couple of days to get an x-ray done, and we'll go from there. What I want to say is that I am quite aware of this young woman's state of being, and one day, out of the blue, she began laughing for no reason, and I observed her. She actually has had laughing attacks due to her nervous system not being balanced, or neurological disorder, that she suffers from epileptic seizures, that I can tell you. So of course there can be a reason, but she has not had those attacks for a very, very long time. So I noticed this one time was different than the other times. She was engaging with herself, laughing as if there was someone in the room. Now, because I can detect energies, I realized that there were visitors in the room from another realm. And it was so endearing to watch her and observe her, so engrossed in the moment, and her laughter was truly genuine, not caused by her condition or nor the medicines. And I began to remember. I once read that Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, said something like, all learning is actually remembering, something like that. It was part of his theory of knowledge of something called anamnesis, that the soul is immortal and has prior knowledge of itself. And um, according to this philosophy, learning is a process to the soul, and it recollects memories. And should be or is supposed to be an innate knowledge through life's experiences in this physical world. So this young woman, even though she has no way of communicating, she did through her laughter and seemed to be playing with someone, for I noticed how she was interacting with someone that you couldn't see. And yet I could feel the energy in the room, and I could see how she handed the toy like she wanted to hand the toy over to someone that you couldn't see. But I definitely felt the energy in the room. And it felt light, it felt loving and sweet. Her mother passed away 2 years ago, so maybe it was her deceased mama. So I began to reflect on the past year and how much time I've spent alone with her and myself, besides doctor's appointments, whether the hospital, and she spent some few days at the hospital and I stayed with her those days. She had the close call that I've told you around September, October. She nearly passed away. And I remember how I kept myself upbeat by listening to music all the time. And I practiced meditation, both in silence and also walking meditation, and tried to maintain myself in my own bubble, if you want to say, but with awareness that she was in a point in her life that she could go either way. But deep down in my heart, I knew that she was not going anywhere because of dreams that I have had. But okay, so something happened while I was meditating. This happened to me in the hospital. And I went outside. They had at this hospital, they have a beautiful area where there's water fountains, and there's ducks, and there's trees and places to sit, and it's very zen-like, very like, it makes me think of a Japanese garden, very pretty. And then there's mountains around and all the greenery. So this is a beautiful area that they have built at the hospital for people to come and have a moment of quiet or relaxation. So all of a sudden, while I was meditating, I began laughing. I mean, I really was laughing. You know, when you get that hard belly laugh that you can't stop, and you just hold your tummy and you're laughing and laughing and laughing uncontrollably. And it may be from a joke or a conversation you had with someone, or you're having a moment with someone, or you see a movie or see something that's really funny, or it's a funny moment, okay? And there was no one there. No one was tickling me. I hadn't seen a funny movie. This was an automatic reaction emanating from my soul. I allowed this joy to encompass my entire being. And when it finally receded, I felt light, joyful, and knew that my body, my mind, knew this emotion and was needed, and brought itself outwards to demonstrate that laughter is annoying, that laughter is my friend. So having this experience, it made me think, You know, on a computer, we save our favorite things like a picture, maybe some information that you need from work, and we have these files and we save them, right? So I began thinking, I've been thinking this, I always think that the greatest tool that our Father, our Creator, has given us is our mind. And this amazing mind can hold information. So, one of the favorite things that I like is laughing. And I was, in a way, distraught, not depressed, because of her condition. And I had been at the hospital. I spent 2 nights at the hospital with her, plus the day. And I saw her condition, and it was very sad. It was very hard to watch. And also, you don't know about my life, how I live. I have family, I have children, and I have grandchildren, and I have siblings. But I don't really have a social life like most people have, because my work, it's not just work. This little gal has become very special to me. I do have free time. Not as much probably as most people would think that I need to have. And because I am the type of a person that I am able to conduct myself and to manage my energy, my state of mind through meditation, through breathing practices, and I also practice prayer. I dance and I listen to music, and I always try to watch things that are uplifting. I don't like violent shows. I like things that I learn from. I love to watch, like, for example, that channel, the History Channel. I love to learn about the countries, about the cultures, and about, the ancient times. I love architecture. I read a lot too. So my life is very fulfilled because I love me. So I do things for me. Like, I'll go to a spa and I'll get a spa day. I'll spend the night somewhere um, and just have the great treatment, and spend some hours by myself. And I take trips to the mountains, which is one of my favorite things to do. And then I love, like all those black and white movies. I'm trying to think, because I have to translate. Let's see. In Mexico, there is a famous actor, and he's a comedian, and he was called Cantinflas. I love those old movies from Cantinflas that I used to watch with my mom. We would laugh. Oh, I love the way he expresses himself. And I also like, I love Lucy, I love Lucy's, when Lucy and Ethel are standing there with the chocolate factory and she couldn't go fast enough and all the crazy things that she did. Then I used to love to watch Three's Company with my mom too. I used to watch that. And then the Three Stooges, and all those most of the old funny shows. And of course, I like to watch, serious things as well. But I'm talking about things that make me laugh and things that bring me joy. And because I'm a kid at heart, I'd rather watch, and like anime. I'd rather watch anything else but, like killing and war movies. I don't do those. I've never have, nor horror movies. So pretty much unicorns and fairies. No, but I do like other things, of course. But um, I cannot bring myself to watch things where people kill dogs and animals, and I can't. My soul can't take stuff like that. But what I want to tell you, how laughter I'm not a person that I'm like, I love laughing, and my humor, I think I have a dry humor, but I know that I'm funny, but there has to be a time to be funny. And there's some things that people will think, oh, that's disrespectful to think that or to say that. But I'm the type of a person that I say what I think. At times, I have to be very, like, I try to be considerate of others. I don't just go blurt everything out because I'm very conscientious of other people's feelings, especially the elderly people. But to tell you that laughter is my friend, when I started laughing like that for no reason, my soul knew there was a reason because laughter brought me joy. And it was something that I didn't call for. It was something innate in me, like Plato said, or that he thought in his philosophy, because we have lived other lives. I believe that as well, that we have lived other lives. So I feel that the memory of laughter is within us because I had not called for it, but apparently my soul needed it. And I just started laughing for no reason. People were looking at me like, what's with that lady? And it made me feel so, I can't explain it because I laughed and laughed like it was the funniest joke, like it was the funniest thing. And then I was trying to think, okay, what made me laugh? There was not a joke. It was my soul. I am so aware of myself. And when I tell you guys to have self-love, so this is what self-love does. Because you love yourself, so you get to know yourself so well that automatically your body reacts. And if you need something, there's a beautiful scripture that my grandmother taught me. She taught me the Psalms. My grandmother was Catholic, but not like real, like she wasn't at church every Sunday, but she spoke to me about the Creator, but she never spoke to me about the priest or all that was going on there. She spoke to me about the Creator, and she always told me, He's not up there. The only temple that He abides in is here. And we even call these a temple. Oh, where are you going to put the essential oil? Or put it on your temples. Your temples. This is your temple. We are the vessel. We are the temple. The kingdom of God is within you. It's within you. And it's within me. And I'm shown every day the majesty of life, the beauty of life. Laughter is one of the most beautiful things. I love laughing till you pee your pants. One day, I walked into her bedroom, my mother in her last days, like about 2 months before she passed away on the 4th of July, but it was probably like in May, the middle of May. She was laying in her bed. She was taking more naps and more relaxed. So one day I walk in and I made her some juice, and this is one thing, I made my green juices. My mom was, oh, you're making me that green juice. No, I don't want that. I said, Mama, it's good for you. It will feed your cells. It's all green stuff and you need it. Okay. And then I would take kale and apples and celery and all these different things. And then I added a little bit of, I bought this, it's this powder, and it's not kelp, it's from the ocean. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name, but it's high in vitamins and minerals, and I have it on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, so I would make this, and pineapple also, put pineapple in there, and my mother would cringe and said, all right, and I would make shots, so it was this little glass, and then right as I was bringing it over to her, she looks at me, she goes, Vivi, I really like you. You're really good. She just said like that, I really like you. You're good. And then I turned and I looked at her and said, yeah, I am good. I like me too, Mama. But it was just that. And then my mom started laughing. like it was the funniest thing, and it wasn't funny. But because she was laughing, it got me laughing. I dropped that little cup accidentally. It was all over the bed, and she laughed so hard she peed her pants, and I was in the process of peeing my pants, so I had to run to the bathroom. My mom, I had to get something to wipe and we couldn't stop laughing just for something so silly because I said, "Oh yeah, Mama, I like me too." But it wasn't funny. But my mom thought it was funny. And things like that, life throws you little things that you, out of the blue, you have no idea. And then all of a sudden you react in such a way and then you start laughing. I do have moments that have been really funny that I almost cried from laughing. I went to, many years ago when I used to live in Chicago, I went to this place, it was called Great America. And you remember those, I don't like going on them anymore. I just, ugh. I like heights, but I don't like going around like that. It was a place where you go. It's like an entertainment place, an entertainment park. And I was just like 14 or 15 years of age, and I went with some friends. And I remember that I had a lot of change, and I put it in my pockets. And I had a pretty white blouse that was, just a little blouse that went off a little bit off the shoulders. And then we went into this thing that you had to put this metal, and then you had to put this big bell to hold you. And I didn't really want to go, but everybody go, "Oh, come on, you have to go, you have to go." I'm telling you, I lost it. I lost all my change because that thing went up and down like this. One of these crazy, oh, I can't stand those things. Up and down, and then backwards. And when the thing stopped, my top was above me, and my bra was broken. So my breasts were where everybody can see them. And my friend, luckily was a friend, my girlfriend sitting next to me, goes, "Baby, look!" And I'm, "Oh my God," and I covered myself, but then we started laughing. And I remember that it was hilarious. So I've had moments that have been so focal and so like on me. And then another time too, when we were in park, we went to the lake in Chicago, and a whole bunch of my friends went, and I remember that I didn't have a bathing suit, and I only had shorts, and my friend says, "Oh, you can just borrow mine, it's brand new, my mom bought me two, and I don't like wearing white bathing suits." I said, "Okay, I'll wear it." I wore the white bathing suit, unfortunately, and we had gone with a group that they were called like young adults, and then we had like a kind of like a chaperone, I guess, a couple of the moms, and because we were just the teenagers. And I came out of the water, and I remember one of the ladies running to me with a towel screaming, "Baby!" I had no idea, no idea whatsoever. But this white bathing suit was like I didn't have anything on, so imagine. So, but the part about the laughter, I didn't laugh because I didn't think it was funny. I couldn't see it. I didn't notice. But my friends, they were all laughing. And that part, that was kind of like humiliating more than anything. But then after, when the whole thing was said and done, then it was funny. But now this is funny. It wasn't funny when it happened. But the first time that I moved to the state of Utah, I was only 15. And I was a city girl back then. So our friends lived out in the country, and they had land, lots of land, and they had horses and all sorts of things. And every morning we would get up early, and they put all these special things to make the watering system go, so the water can water all the different places they had. And they grew this stuff for the horses and the cows that they had. It wasn't wheat, but it was, I can't think of hay. Okay, so we're walking, and because it's a huge place, so we're walking, and all of a sudden I see the cutest little animals. They were so cute. They were babies like this. They were black and white, and they had kind of like stripes. Yep. And when I was saying, oh, look at those, so cute. And everybody disappeared and ran. And I couldn't understand why they leave me. No one said anything. And then way back, they said, baby, get out of there, get out of there. And the mama comes. And I didn't know. All I know is that I saw like smoke coming out of her butt. And then I got it all over me. And I smelled horrendous, and I felt like puking, and I felt like passing out. Of course, it wasn't a laughable moment, not at all. A skunk totally got me. That I'm going to tell you that, of course, we laughed about it afterwards. They put me in a bathtub, and the mom had opened like maybe like 6 or 7 containers of ketchup on me and the water all over. I don't know how that was supposed to help, but I'm telling you, it took me over a week. And I bathed like 2-3 times. I took showers and I washed myself in creams and all that because I'm a girly and I love my creams. And oh, I smelled like, ugh, it was horrible. And then, of course, such ignorant girl, another time, I saw this beautiful, absolutely beautiful, because I'm fascinated with nature. And it was round. I didn't know it was a wasp nest. I didn't. No one said anything. And I was by a tree and I was looking, but I didn't see any bees or anything around, or I stuck my hand inside. I wanted to see it didn't hurt me. Nothing hurt me. I didn't get stung or anything, and they were all like, they couldn't believe it. No, I touched it and it was all slimy because of all the, the honey stuff inside. And so I've had kind of weird moments in my life where I've laughed afterwards. When I was in Hawaii, and I got up really early one morning at about 5, and I wanted to go swimming because I love to swim. And we were kind of in a cove, kind of closed in. There was nobody around, and I like to go skinny dipping. So I did that, and then I was floating in the water, and then I remember that someone was watching me, and then I was like, oh, who's watching me? And then I started to look, and I saw these huge eyes. They were like beautiful green. And you know what it was? You know how big the Volkswagens they are? As big as a Volkswagen, a turtle. A turtle. And I was thinking, oh, this is amazing. And we were staring at each other. I mean, she was in her space, I was in mine. And then out of the blue appeared a sea lion. And I think must have been a female because we all got along fine. We were all there just floating. And I was having the time of my life. And I said to myself, well, all we need is a shark and we need a dolphin and maybe some whales. I'm crazy for nature. I love animals. I was never scared. And I was told, don't go swimming in the early morning because the sharks like to go and eat. I thought, yeah. And if they come, I'm not worried because I have this thing that people, I have had a ferocious dog come after me, to come and bite me. And I was completely calm because I have achieved to, you see, peace is not out here. Peace is within me. So when you attain, you come to a point of understanding what peace is, you don't look for nothing outside of you. Everything is within you. So, this life, you guys, it awes me. And I just wish that there were more people. I'm sure there is. I cannot imagine. I mean, I know I'm kind of like a dork. My family, and sometimes, that with my nephews, and we can talk for hours with all. I have this thing with them, and we can talk for hours and hours and hours, and they love to hear the experiences that I've had, and it just makes me happy to share my life and to hear everybody else's stories and see how we all live in this world, and um, we try to find the things that make us happy. Um, like this year is ending soon, and then I look back and think all the things that I have accomplished, even though I have not done much, but most of my work has been inward, and I have such love and respect for this earth. I love her so dearly. I love what she gives me. I love her colors. I love everything. I love stormy nights. I love when it's quiet at night. I love to be able to watch the other day when the northern lights came, the Aurelis Borealis. It was out here, out in the west. I wasn't able to see much of it because where I'm situated, I have to go out in a higher place. And anyway, just to share with you that laughter is my friend, and it has never left me. We've all have been through hard times. I'm sure that you've all been through like rough times and critical times, and maybe chaotic times where like where you have been broken. We've all have had that. But then we've also we have experienced joy, and that is one of the things that I love. Happiness is like eating a delicious chocolate, a dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. And partaking of things that you love gladdens your soul. For me, like to have flowers in my home, I want to grow them. I mean, I do grow them. I don't have a garden like I used to. I have made wreaths before. I'm a very creative person. And at one point I had a little business for a while where I went to the nature and I collected all the things you can imagine. Sticks and dried flowers and all sorts of little things and nuts. And I created these amazing wreaths and I sold them. I sold one for $200 one time. A lady said, no, this is worth more than that. Because if you can go to the special boutiques, they didn't even have things like that. When I lived in Europe, I took some courses, and it was called Blomsterbinding. And that is like flower binding, where you learn how to entwine and you bind them and you tie them, and it was a beautiful class that I totally adored. And I also do bonsai trees, and I can find in nature, I can find like little starters. I don't have anything right now either because I can't hear and I can't maintain them. And plus, I am in a place where there's not much light where I'm living right now, so it's more light here in my room. But the rest of the house is in a place where it's quite dark, and I need more light for my plants. And although I do have some plants, but yeah. So I hope that you can all reflect and find the things that make you happy, and be grateful for the things your body tells you. Your body sends you messages. Your mind sends you messages through dreams. And for me to have had that moment of laughter, and Seattle, she reminded me, this is her name is Seattle. I'm giving you her name. She's a sweetheart, and she just began laughing for no reason. So, but I know that there was someone with her, and I believe it was her mama. Her mama passed away 2 years ago, and Seattle lives her father and her stepmom. That she's amazing. They're both amazing people. So I just want you to be very aware of the gifts that you've been given, to be grateful for this life, to be aware of these feelings that your body keeps and that memory. I remember my mother, she could recite poems when she was a little girl, and we're talking long poems, very long, beautiful poems, songs, and it would shock me thinking, Mom, her memory was amazing. She did have a short memory at the end. It was hard for her, but my mother had an amazing mind. My mother was a musician. She loved music, and the love that I have for music, and all my siblings, I feel we feel the same. Our mother instilled that in us because our mother, she taught herself to play. She played the piano before we moved here from Chile, and then she learned how to play the classical guitar, and she practiced it daily pretty much, and that was one of the things she loved to do besides gardening, which I also adore. But laughter, she also taught me that because my mother was very funny. She was a very funny person, and I'm grateful for having that experience the other day or some weeks ago, that my body reminded me that laughter is the best medicine. And my body hasn't forgotten. My mind has not forgotten. So we don't forget. Don't forget to laugh. And because you've known laughter, you also, I'm sure all of us have known sadness. So the thing that I love about life, because when you become an observer and you see, you have had sadness, and when your heart was broken, and then another time, then there's joy, so much so that you can pee your pants and you cry with the joy of the laughter that comes from a situation, from a whatever it may be, a movie, a joke, or a funny moment. There's all kinds of funny moments in life, and that I'm grateful for, because I'm the type of a person that wants to experience life in its fullest, and the silly moments and the funny moments and the sad moments and the joyful moments. But now I want more funny moments, and I like more special moments that are filled with life, like moments that are deep. And I don't know, how, if everybody out there, if you guys think like me, maybe, I don't know if there's someone out there that thinks like me, maybe, I don't know. I have yet to meet a person that's deep like me. I like to dive into things, and I think it's because I've been like this since I was a little girl, and God does that to me, because I think it's fascinating. The human mind is fascinating, and to study psychology and to study the mind and the renewal and how you can change, a thought can be, you can change, you can reprogram yourself, and it's fascinating because there's these neurons, and you're in this place where you're told one thing, and then you realize, you start thinking, wait a minute, but I don't like that. I'm kind of a revolutionary, a warrior, I guess, of sorts. I've always been like that since little. If I don't like something, I'll just say it. No, you know what? This doesn't work for me. I want to find my own way. I've always been like that. And when I was told in school to paint a certain way, no, I want to paint it my way. And when I had an art class, my teacher would say, well, but this is the way. I know that's what you taught me to do that, but I want to try it this way. And I would mix the colors the way I wanted to. So I feel that I've always been like that. So I think I respect myself of what I want. And I'm not like demanding it from anybody, but I demand it from myself. And I give everyone their space, because we all should be allowed to be ourselves, but more so now because we live in a world where it's so divided and there's so many different ideas about this, about that. And for example, when I removed myself from religion, I believe this happened when I was like 10, when I told the priest, I'm not doing catechism, no way. And I was pulled by my ears. They literally pulled me by my ears, pushed me on the ground, and told me, go to the grove and say so many holy, the Father's prayer and the prayer for Mary, Mother Mary. And that's when I decided, I don't like this God. Can you imagine? I was only 10. And yeah, God is different for me. I'm seeking truth, and I'm finding it within myself, and in this world. It amazes me. And the music is my muse, and laughter is my friend. Laughter is my friend. I laugh at myself sometimes. I think of, and sometimes I ask my close friends, are you sure you're okay? You know, that after we have this long conversation, and they say, okay, tell me about this and that. And then I get so excited and I tell them after like 35 minutes later, and I say, are you still here? No, baby, I wanted to hear that. That's important. It's important to you. It's important to me. But it's because I'm excited. I'm excited for life. I'm excited of the findings. I'm excited of the unknown. I'm excited to find that which no one knows. And kind of like that program, The Little House on the Prairie, and the kids were so simple. Life was so simple, and yet they had all these chaotic things and problems and things. But the simplicity of life, and they had like 2 dresses only, like their Sunday dress, and then the good linen for every day for school and everything else, and the one little pair of boots. And nowadays we all look at our closets and fill with stuff. And I do like clothes because like I said, I'm girly, and I love things that are pretty and feminine, and but I'm not the type of a person that's crazy for shopping. I don't really care. I can have the clothes that I have. I've had it for a long time, and then when I get tired of it, and then I'll take it to a secondhand store and give it to them, or go to the women's shelters and put them in bags and fold the stuff and wash things that are still good. But yeah, there's just so much we can do in this world to make everything a better world. But first of all, most importantly, make ourselves better, and make ourselves aware, conscientious of what life is about, and to be grateful, and to see what you have inside that comes out of nowhere, and it shows you who you are. Like the laughter showed me. Laughter is my friend. And I want to say, not just laughter, but emotions. Emotions, we have emotions. And I know there was a movie created about the emotions, and I love that little show. I only watched it once with my grandkids. And then the fire and the water and the elements. It was called Elements, I think. But I'm just telling you that the emotions are so amazing because with them we can create. And I've seen the things we can create with emotions. And to go more into depth with the emotions, we were never taught about our emotions and how to be happy and how to move from one frowny face to a happy face in school. No, it was do this, and go to that class and go to that class. But it's so important, that field, for children to learn about themselves, inside of themselves, and to tackle things, because we live in a world now that there's so many kids that are depressed. There's teenage suicide. There's so many things that need to be addressed. Parents that are not really home, broken homes, and then the addictions, and then all of the pressure from society and from these stupid phones that are on the one place, and on one hand they're a blessing, and on the other they're not, because everybody's caged into these damn phones, and almost no one walks out in nature. No one plays with sticks and stones like I used to when I was little. I didn't have dolls then, and I played with, and this, I guess it was meant for me to have that experience, because I love nature. Because of that, I would catch birds. I would get a box and tie a hole on it, and put a string and put crumbs, and I would lay for sometimes hours until a tiny little bird would come, boom, and boom, I caught him. And so and then you know what I would do? I would take him and just love. I would love him and kiss him, and I would tell him, oh, can you go tell Father this, and go tell God that, and please da 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 da, and I would ask him, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to keep you. And then I would sometimes force feed him, you know, little pieces of crumbs of the bread I had, and then I had him for too long, and then the bird was kind of like all exhausted, and his, you know, wings were like okay, I surrender. You know, because all the love I gave it kisses, and I would put it here, and I would put it in my heart, and here, and I love you, little birdie, and da 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 da. And then as soon as I opened my hand, I'll give him kisses, and they would take off, and I was like, oh, he left. I used to catch butterflies and geckos, and oh, my favorite ones were the turquoise ones. They were beautiful. They were long like this. It looked like geckos. They were not geckos. There's another name. I can't think of the name, but they were literally turquoise, like somebody had just painted them. Oh, they were gorgeous. These were fast. I would catch them. They were in the hot summer days, and the walls, you know, they would just be standing there, and I would go really fast with a wet towel, and I grabbed it, and then I held it really tight, and then I would look at the little face, and the face is kind of like a snake, because they are in the family of the snake. And I would look at it, and I would talk to it, and the poor thing couldn't wait to get away from me. So I caught birds, and then sometimes birds came to me, and then I had birds in my house, and they fell off the nest, and then I treated them at home, and so I became their mama, and then they flew around the house, and they slept in a little box next to me. That one was called Jamie, and I would feed them spaghetti noodles because they look like worms. I would go to the garden and try to find the worms, but anyway, so that's my story today, and I hope that you guys get in touch with your inner selves, and be grateful for your lives, and be grateful for everything that you experience, and have an awareness. Have awareness of who you are. Have awareness of your special gifts, and enjoy nature. Go as for as many walks as you can. If you live close to the ocean, oh, I miss the ocean. I love the ocean. I love the waves. I'm just a beach girl at heart. I'm a nature girl. If I could, I think I would be a nomad. I would have a place, and I would go back to that place, have all my special things, but I think I would just live throughout the world, traveling and doing projects and doing things for humanity. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and be happy, be joyful, and remember that laughter is your friend. And I don't know you, but I am also your friend, and I love you all, and I wish you the best. Have a wonderful day.